Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our Kingmaker campaign. We are gathered to play our third session for some of you, second session for others, and our group is ever growing. So I'm glad for that and pleased to have some new players at the table. So I'm Jamie. I'll be the game master for this session, and I'm gonna go and have everybody introduce themselves and their character real quick. And then we'll do in the gameplay some further introductions of the characters as you see them in gameplay. But if you could just introduce yourself and tell us who you're playing and what they are, I think that would be a good way to get a little bit acquainted. I'll start with the people I've been playing with the longest to the people I've been playing with the least to give them a chance. So my brother is Scott, so I'll start with him because I've been playing with him for a very long time.
Yeah, we've had our moments. Yeah, so I am playing Rekla. He is an Oracle class gnome. I've never played an Oracle before, so I'm having fun discovering their abilities and the class features and whatnot. Yeah, I don't really know what I should say about him. I guess I could say that he is cosmically minded. That's where he draws his divinity powers from. So he's very head in the clouds and drawn to, I don't know, the cosmic.
Cosmos.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's really interesting. Awesome. Next up then would Ben.
Hi. Like you said, I'm Ben. I'm playing a human fighter named Dalit. I think it's my first time playing a fighter. Been switching classes a lot over the years. Trying to play the class or the background. Eldori swordsman or something.
Yeah, he's a swordsman. Yeah.
Yeah. Was trying to play the character a real excited for adventuring person who just doesn't know about the ins and outs of the worlds. My wife says I sound like a nerd just listening to me.
Yeah, I understand that. No, but I don't understand at the same time. No, that's awesome. Yeah, I think he's a little bit like, because you were playing a ranger most recently, and he's a departure from that, like maybe more like paladin-ish than ranger-ish, but yeah, and has his fancy Aldori sword, so
yeah.
Very iconic when those swordsmen are around. And there's I think another one potentially in the group. So awesome. Thanks, Ben. Then next up would be Carlos.
Hi, my name is Carlos. I am from Colombia, and I am playing a druid dwarf called Ferbus Greenfoot. He is from the animal order, and he has a companion, and his name is Little Josh.
There's Little Yosh. Let's see. There you go. It's like a sort of adolescent black bear who came in handy last session. Yeah, good to have you, Carlos. Awesome. And then last but not least, our newest member, welcome to Ozzy.
Hello, I'm Ozzy. Nice to meet you. I am playing a magus named Bryn.
Yes.
This is my first time ever playing Pathfinder 2e, so I'm not entirely familiar, but the magus seemed a lot similar to the Hexblade Warlock from Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, so I have at least some idea of what to do.
And,
Nice.
and you played quite a bit of Pathfinder 1st edition, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pathfinder 1e is like my bread and butter.
Awesome. We're glad to have you. This is great. I think it'll be a good fit. And if you have questions along the way about anything, obviously about the game, we're all still learning the game, even though several of us have been playing together for a while. We're always finding out new things, and we're always rereading the same rules. Feel free to ask any question as we go through it. And I'm definitely a GM who likes to be corrected if you do find something that is clearly written that we can reference, call it out. It's great to all learn together, but at the same time, I'll try to keep the pace of play moving at a speed to keep everybody engaged. But great to have you. Normally, we would have at least one other player with us, and we've got some other interested in the wings, but I think for now, we're pretty well set. We are missing our fearless leader, Joe, who is traveling for work this evening. So we'll miss Joe's character is a ranger whose bow will not be available this evening, but we will press on, and I'll get everybody acquainted here a little bit again with the storyline. So we're looking at the map of the River Kingdoms, which is where the setting where this is taking place, and you are in the nation of Brevoy in the northeastern corner of the River Kingdoms, and you specifically are in the city of Restov. That is your party token there in green. And as we travel and you travel as a group throughout the campaign, we'll end up using this map for reference a lot. But the general knowledge that you would have of the region is that there are several river kingdoms that border one another. You've got Brevoy, of course, Numeria in the northwest. You've got Pitax in the southwest, and the Tours of Levenix in the southeast, and a couple of other random places here. But generally speaking, the area between these kingdoms, the centering in the Gnarl Marches, is referred to as the Stolen Lands. And the Stolen Lands are a very rugged, nearly uninhabitable, and to this point have lived up to that by being very uninhabitable and very wild, unpredictable, extreme conditions. And there has been a lot of people who have tried to use the lands for their gain, and currently it would appear that a couple of the kingdoms are interested in acquiring regions within the Stolen Lands, and there's a land rush that's going on, so to speak, that is really a competition between these kingdoms. And the theme right now is that in Brevoy, there is a rising influential sword lord in the city of Restov, where you are all located, and her name is Lady Jumanji. She is very wealthy, very influential in the city, and she has developed a pretty significant amount of power and a connection with the mayor of Restov. And together they have put out a plan and explored their options as far as giving a charter to adventurers to send them into the Stolen Lands with the authority to claim the land for themselves and essentially to join the nation of Brevoy and expand its boundaries in those directions. There was a call to heroes that was put out, and everyone here was somehow or other recognized or known to the lady or her entourage in terms of who's giving input here to the idea of settling these lands. And you all convened on her manor, to where she had set up a grand feast. And let's see, what else was there? I just want to double check that I'm not missing. Yeah, so the manor itself is a 3-story structure. It's a light gray mortared stone, cobblestone structure, and it's surrounded by gardens and ancient oaks, just extremely cared for and built place. And so it's very obvious as you arrive what her status is and what her potential resources might be. As you convened in the Great Hall, and she gave a speech and basically informed everyone of this plan. And this is where session 1 was. I'm doing a recap of this just to get everybody to the same point. But during that time, during that feast, she gave a speech. She explained that everybody there would be acting on her authority, and that you would be given resources to move towards the west. And specifically, you've heard about the opportunity to use this place called Fort Serenko to your west. And Fort Serenko is believed to be a completely abandoned fort that is one of the places that you can lay claim to and use to determine if that's a region you want to settle, or you could travel on and find other places to settle. So those are some of the things that were mentioned during her feast. Ultimately, though, she turned in early and the mayor left, and the heroes were given different rooms throughout the manor to stay in that evening. The following day, there was an expectation that they would be giving you supplies and additional paperwork so that you could begin to head out and lay claim to these lands and begin exploring them. When in the middle of the night, there was some clanging and battle overheard that awoke all of you. And so when you awoke that evening and emerged from your rooms, you saw that several of the guards had been overtaken, killed by a group of really what appeared to you to be a gang that were similarly dressed and similarly marked with black tears by their eyes. And it became obvious at some point that they were the Black Tears, and they are a cabal of killers that are often employed to do high-level jobs. And so that was some knowledge that one of the PCs was able to draw on and inform the rest of you that these are professionals at what they do, and somebody ordered something, right? It seems. And as the group explored the disturbance in the middle of the night, they were drawn out to an area where there was a garden, and they fought a few more of these gang members, and ultimately were able to defeat them. And as they pressed forward into the back towards the main hall where the feast had taken place, they encountered something else, something large. Does anybody else remember, want to talk about what you fought last session, what happened?
Yeah, so we were approaching I believe it was the doors.
Let's see, I can put it on the screen.
Oh no, we crossed over into the one building and went in through one of the rooms, and was it an ogre? I believe it was an ogre.
Yes.
Was in one of the rooms, and it looked like he had been blinded. He had been shot in both his eyes or something with an arrow, and he was screaming after this halfling, which I don't think we saw a halfling, so we're not exactly sure who it was who was he was fighting with previously. But we were able to finish him off and found a hidden room with the chest, but we were unable to get into the chest, so we were saving that for later because we weren't sure. What was that?
I thought you weren't sure who owns it.
We thought it might belong to Lady
Jumanji.
Yeah.
So we weren't sure if it was something that we should be busting open or not. And then after, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say that was a moment, a test of the group's morals there. That tempting.
Yeah.
Tempting.
From there, we were headed towards the hall where we had the original meeting and feast. And when we got to the doors that led into the hallway, we were greeted by a frost giant who had similarly seen some action. It looked as if he was the last defense, getting any stragglers that were missed by the Black Tears, the other Black Tears. And so we engaged with him and were able to finish him off. And it was right then, as we were about to enter into the Great Hall, is when we ended our last session, if I'm remembering everything correctly.
That sounds pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, I think you had also found some other survivors, if I'm not mistaken, or some other dead, I meant adventurers. Some of the other adventurers that were in the Great Hall were found dead amongst the guards and the Black Tears. Pretty impactful attack so far. So to weave Bryn into the storyline, Bryn, you would have been given this room here, and hopefully on this map you have vision right now. If not, I'm gonna double check that. No, you don't.
I do not.
No, you don't. Yeah. Now you might.
Okay, cool. Woo!
Okay, you were given a quarters over on the east wing nearest to the manor, or to the Great Hall. When this unfolded, you were able to get into the Great Hall area. And as you were in there, this was a lot of what the group has just been doing was taking place behind that door where the giant was. And as they defeat that giant and open that door, that's where you guys will all come together. Let me change our map over. And this will be, I'll have to move Brandon.
Ah!
All right. And I think Joe's is there, so I'm going to move Joe's off of here for now. And I think that's it. Okay, yeah, so this is the Great Hall. When you were here a few hours ago, it was much different, much more festive. However, now the Great Hall is looking quite a bit different. So let's see, let me just mention a few of the things. So there were, when you came in here earlier, you could see that there were 2 massive crystal chandeliers hanging from the ceiling about 20 feet above you. One of those is completely smashed on the ground in the center of the room towards the south end, and the other is still hanging there. So something there obviously is noticeable, but as you continue to look around the room, you notice that there used to be a lot of, number one, all the tables have been flipped over, so that's obvious as well, but there used to be a lot of murals and things up on the walls, and it looks like a lot of that has been taken down or is missing, or in some cases it might still be in place, but it looks as if it was someone was trying to get it off of the wall or something in a hurry. And that would be noticeable, but most noticeable would be that you would now be together with a handful of other people, one being Bryn. And for our party, as you emerge from the door, Bryn, you've been trying to get through that door to figure out what's going on over there in the east wing. Somebody's jammed this door closed. And now all of a sudden, you hear some battle going on that side of the door. And when you see now emerge through the door, these three, a dwarf, a gnome?
A
It's a
gnome.
gnome and a human and a black bear emerged from the door, and you can see then through the door at that point the aftermath of the giant behind them. I'll give you guys a chance if there's anything you wanted to describe about your characters and how you guys might look at this point, or anything that you might say to one another. See, I'm just looking for our next section while you guys do that.
Brim would probably be like kind of sleepy. I'd like to think that he was like out like a light. Maybe he drunk too much the night before. He's woken up, he's got a spitting hangover, he's got sleep in his eyes, but he's also looking pretty alert. He's got a giant hammer in both of his hands. And he's got scale mail on, but he probably doesn't have anything on underneath or above the scale mail. So he's just wearing pants and armor. It's very cold. And he looks behind you guys and it's, what the hell?
Hi.
Yeah,
This is how we start every day. I don't know what's going on.
and I think just in that chaos of that moment, there's an entire other side of the room right now where there's a bunch of people gathered, but it's like this interaction between all of you would recognize one another from the gathering earlier, even though not everybody talked to everybody. You saw a lot of the faces earlier, and you're still looking for those faces as you're exploring, and unfortunately you found a few of them worse for wear because it looked like the giant and the ogre had laid waste to a few along the way with guards. And as you are having this quick exchange across the room at the other double door that leads to the west wing, you would see there are several guards gathered around that set of doors, and you start to recognize the fact that it looks like there is some smoke coming from those doors, and that they're pretty concerned, standing over there pretty concerned about it. Let's see, what else? I didn't mention this, but there are at least a dozen bodies laying against the east wall in this room.
Whoa.
And
Have we seen? I know we've seen our peers around, have we seen black tiers as well? Black tier bodies as well?
Yeah, there are a few. There are a few of the dozen bodies that are in this room that there 3 of them are black tiers, but the rest would be guards mainly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you guys, let's have everybody roll a perception check on your character sheet. It should be somewhere on the right-hand side there.
Like I said, head in the clouds.
My God, you were right on that.
Your heads in the cloud. Mine's in like the street. I'm wondering if that's what smoke we can smell. I'm wondering if somebody's cooking right
Thinking about breakfast.
Furthus has got his head like in the dirt or something with hell right at it.
Yeah, I think Furbus, you're like keenly in tune right now with what's going on in the room, and Bryn's pretty aware as well. But you'd probably be the first to notice that it looks like the guards who are gathered around that western door, set of double doors, have been stuffing tapestries underneath the door and in the cracks of the door to try to keep the smoke from coming out, and that they're still over there, like you see one of them on their hands and knees trying to tighten it, and you just can't help but still see smoke is making its way through the hinge sides of the door and through cracks in the door that they can't address, even though they're trying in vain to get the banners and tapestries to cover those areas. And so now it starts to make more sense, at least what happened there, to some of those things. And I guess you start to get a little more concerned because you see how anxious that this group of guards looks about the situation. So that's what you're able to perceive differently than the rest of the team at this point.
Okay. I say, guys, we think we have a problem. I point the door and I say, I think we have a fire right there.
Oh boy.
Oh boy,
Yep, that smells like a fire.
a very big fire.
I don't have any useful magic for this situation. What other ideas do we have that we can help fight this fire with?
I think I have something. I don't know if this gonna work, but I have a spell named Ray of Frost. It's ice magic.
That's a cantrip, isn't it?
Yes, it's a cantrip.
Don't have a
Maybe if
sword
you're
now.
able to hit like where the fire is, you could freeze the like whatever wood it's burning or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, I can make more fire.
This
But I
group,
don't think that's needed right now.
I
Yeah.
mean, we could do
No,
a controlled
no.
burn as a thing. A controlled burn is a thing.
I think we're a bit too late for that at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the guards looks as if he might be higher in command. He looks certainly like a more capable and seasoned guard, and he comes running across the room towards you. He is a human, and he is wearing the crest of the Lady Jamandi on his uniform, and he looks as if he's been decorated as well. So he gives you guys a glare and says, "What's happened in the Eastern Wing?"
Yeah, guys, what's happened in the Eastern Wing?
We found a really big giant, ice giant. I think.
He is slain.
yeah.
The giant is slain.
Yes.
Giant, the ogre, the black tears.
The
Yeah.
They're all
incursion.
slain.
The incursion in the East Wing has been quelled.
Oh, goodness. Finally, some glimmer of hope. What other survivors are there?
There were 2, I believe, at least. There was a halfling? Was it a halfling or a dwarf?
A dwarf, I think a human,
Yeah.
2 humans, I think.
Was it 2
and a
human?
dwarf.
Yeah, they're the human fighter
Yeah.
and a halfling.
Was it a bard?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the bar.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that's right. So he begins to tell you that, look, obviously we don't have a lot of time. There have been, someone was hired, some mercenaries were hired along with several giants. Let me say that again. Several giants. And
There are
they
more giants?
There are more giants, guys.
they attacked the manor and they were after Lady Jumanji and disrupting her efforts to expand her influence in the kingdom of Brevoy. We suspect that the kingdom of Pitax could be behind this, but at this point, we don't have anything to go from beyond suspicion. As we continue to explore and check out this other wing, keep your eyes open because there were multiple giants and several more contingent of these black tears. The lady is safe. She has been escorted off the premise some while ago, and she is in a safe location, as is the Lord Mayor. He left hours ago, and his carriage would have taken him back towards his villa in Rostov. We are sending word in his direction to make sure he's safe and that the lady stays safe. But right now, our number one concern are the survivors, if there are any, in the Western Wing. And however, I cannot leave my post here in the Great Hall, and neither can my men. So we ask you if you would be willing to go deeper into the West Wing to find out what, if there are any survivors and what is left there, and will you do this?
If we can get through the fire, I don't see why not.
Yeah, we can help.
He says, we heard clashing blades coming from the other side of that door very recently. Wherever the smoke is, there's somebody, and there are some who are able to pass, and it would seem as if there's life on the other sides of this door. So I don't believe we're sending you into certain death, but if you should return to the door, I give you this, and he'll hand Furbus a metal token that has the Lady Jamandi's insignia on it, which is a eagle standing upon a tree, and he gives that to you. He says, slide this under the door, and we will let you through. And he laughs. He says, "There's, even though we've stuck our banners in, I'm sure you'll find a slot."
Mm-hmm.
So
Understand.
All right.
let's see. So what else is there that you guys have? Any questions for? His name is Avenzi, by the way. It's a kind of cool name.
Avenzi.
Avenzi. I'll put that into
Okay.
the chat log. But he says again that he's going to stay post here, and that Lady Jamandi will very likely return to the manor soon, and that when she returns, then he'll take whatever orders she has. But at this point, it's all about securing what's left of the manor.
Evenzi, we saw a fire giant on the other side of there. There's a fire over there. Is that a fire giant?
It's seems like a safe assumption, but I know not. I have sent many men through, and none have reported back on the whereabouts of any giants.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And that is to say they haven't returned.
Yeah, we agreed to do this before he told us that.
He turns to, and like you sees one of the bodies of the black tears, and he spits on it, and he says, "Someone paid a hefty sum to these cowards, and we will find justice. We will get our revenge."
Is there any other way into the West Hall other than these burning double doors?
So there is multiple doors that you can use. Let me double check real quick. So it would be this one. Okay. There are, okay. It looks like the answer to your question would be no. There are okay, so the double doors, and this is similar to the layout on your wall, but they have an extra door, but the double doors would lead into the hallway that kind of takes you down through past all the other doorways. There's another door in the north, and that door leads to a staircase that will take you up to the second level. Then this door down here takes you into a storage room that does not connect into the west wing. It looks like it's just it leads into a single room. That's those, and then the main hall, or the entrance to the main hall, the portcullis is down, so that is closed off. And there's several windows in the room I think you can see, and the fireplace there on the north wall. That's it, I think. Let's see, on the wall you came from, there's another door, and I'm just gonna double check what that was real quick. I think that may have, yeah, that was a similar storage room. Again, you probably hadn't gone in there much or anything, but that's what you recall. So,
All right. Any great ideas on how to get through the fire?
Is there a way to get buckets of water for us?
There was the stream back in the garden room. We would just need some buckets.
Can I open the storage room? This is a hall. Maybe they have water in there.
sure, this one here? This one on the west wing?
Yeah.
You see Bryn furiously flipping through a book.
Okay, so Dalit, you would go in and let's see, what is this? So it's actually a toilet room, and there is a small brass oil lamp on the ceiling, and it's well lit, and it smells like cinnamon. It doesn't say that there's a water source, so I'm gonna say that there is not a water source active in this privy.
Seems like there's just another fire source in there.
Yeah, you could check the other wall if you wanted, the other storage area if you wanted, or like you said, that there was a stream running through in the east wing at one point when you were back there.
I have a question. In theory, if I were to say, be able to create a shockwave of incredible force, would that blow out the fire, at least momentarily?
Potentially. I think if you were at the source of the fire and you were able to center it on that, you could cause a problem there. If you're not at the center of the fire, you could probably dissipate a lot of the smoke and create clearing. I would think in both cases it has potential, just depending on what the effect is of the spell.
Right. Then I suppose nothing left to do but try it.
What did you have in mind? What spell are you considering?
This one.
Okay.
Thunderous Strike.
A wave of sonic vibrations.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think what you would probably, because I'm sure, used this action before, right? You would probably suspect that if they open the door and you make a thunderous strike, that you would potentially push back any of the smoke in that 15-foot cone in front of you and create a little wall of wind that you guys could then use to get your bearings and figure out what you want to do. So yeah, I think that's a feasible action to try to take if that's the way you guys want to approach the entrance. The guards stand ready. They're clenching the door, like ready to pull it open for you when you want to go, so they can limit how much smoke comes into the room with them. But they'll look at you all and wait for your signal for when you're ready. And if the group wants to go that way, let me know. Any other ideas or discussion?
Yeah, Bryn just says it, and it won't be permanent by any means, but it'll allow us to at least get in there, I think.
Advance. Yeah.
I'll try.
I think Rekla's gonna stand out of the way because he doesn't have any other ideas.
I will take my sword out and stand ready to charge it.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, everyone can get in position. What about Furbus? What are your thoughts?
This right of us, and if the run right in the place.
All right.
Alright, time for the age-old question. Which way do these doors open?
That's a great question, right? Let's see. I would think that these would go inward. I'm just gonna
Inward?
say.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
say
would
that.
I'm
think
gonna-
so too.
Yeah. If
I'm
I
gonna go here.
if I had designed it, I would have had them go inward. Yeah, so you guys can be in that square. That's a great question. Yeah, I guess since if you guys are all in agreement, then the lieutenant will look at Bryn for the signal, and we'll crack this thing open.
Bren stands in like a stance, holds his weapon ready, and then says, "Now!"
All right, they go ahead and blast the door, both doors open for a quick moment, and even the force of the door kind of pushes some of the smoke back for a second and gives Bryn a clearing so that you can see a spot that you might want to hit. And you drop the thunderous strike. What does the thunderous strike look like?
Basically, Bryn kind of lets out a "Ba bunda!" and smashes the hammer onto the ground. But it doesn't hurt the ground, it just gets like a kind of shockwave, basically, of invisible force energy. It just.
Awesome. Awesome. And so then I'm going to move you into the West Wing. I'll just copy everybody over there, but we'll start with what you see first. And let's see. There we go.
0 focus points.
Okay. There's the West Wing. Oh yeah, I meant to touch on that. Sorry I didn't do so. Everybody in our game will get a hero point at the beginning of every session. If you happen to do something particularly heroic, I may grant other hero points as necessary. So those are on the table. Definitely a currency you should use in this game to be heroic. So
Yeah, it is. It's usually like 1 per level is how I usually see it run. So 1 per session. That's pretty good.
Yeah, so you'll have that to draw on, and it's because setting is particularly gritty and particularly challenging, and there are ways to scale down the difficulty, but it's meant to really push your limits. So the hero points are really going to come in handy, and I just want to make sure you guys don't leave them on the table.
And the idea too was that they don't necessarily roll over, correct? Like you have 1 to use in the session, but it's not like you get to keep it for the next session.
Correct. You'll just get another 1 at the beginning of the next session. So,
Gotcha.
Yep. There's another game where at the end of the session, each player gives each other a hero. You can give another player a hero point at the end of each session, and I might consider doing that at some point. But for now, we'll just stick with the 1 session and get everybody used to it. If everyone's not using it, then there wouldn't be any reason to give you more, because at that point, you'll have more than 1. But yeah, you guys enter the opening here, and this is the Smoky hallway. So there's billowing smoke pretty much throughout this hallway. The blast from the thunderous strike created really a wall of smoke that was pushed more heavily towards this northwest corner. And so you have limited visibility, but you can see somewhat here, I think. Let me double check what you guys are seeing. Yeah. So you guys can see the hallway despite the fact that there is heavy veil of smoke across it. Let's see.
I'm an artist.
Nice.
I just put a thing showing where the visible.
Perfect. That's perfect. Yeah. So that would be basically all the smoke would be pushed out of that space from the strike, and then the remainder of the smoke was pushed down the hallway. Let's see. Let me double check something real quick. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think what starts to become apparent to you is that some of the doors that are connected to this hallway also seem to be producing smoke. This door that's closest to your cone is producing smoke from under it. The door ahead of you as well seems to be producing some smoke. This hallway is filled with smoke, you think, from these rooms at this point, is what your quick assessment is. And the smoke itself right now is not really having an effect on you, but it's really, you're going to have about a turn or so before it's going to fill back into that space. And it's going to be something you're going to have to, that's going to potentially affect you. We'll have the order, I think, go.
It should affect people by their height.
That's not a bad idea. Maybe we go off of character height, right? We'll start with the tallest character because you would be probably the most at risk. So probably the human, probably Ben. So
Yep.
Ben, what would your course of action be here? Or Dalit?
It's a good question. You can't see down here to these doors, right? It's just too smoky.
It's yeah, it's just pretty hazy. You can see a general outline of the hallway, but you can't see specifically what's going on or anything down there other than these two most immediate doors. Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna do the foolish thing to me, but I'm gonna go to this door and try to open it.
The
and see what's
door.
inside.
Yeah, the door swings open. And let's see, let me see if I can have the graphic for this. This room looks a lot like this. It is completely ablaze in this room, and the smoke, the heaviness of the smoke just comes gusting through the door. And let's see. It looks like through the flames, it looks like there are bodies in some beds in that room that have perished, and there's a window across the room that's been broken, and it's helping to get some of the smoke out. But it looks like let's see, as you opened the door, you were fortunate that the window was broken because the flame is not pulling towards the doorway. But I think it occurs to you that if you opened the door and the window wasn't open, that the flame would have probably torched you a little bit, right? So like that you feel like air moving in the room, right? And you feel like that was an important factor when you opened the door. But otherwise, there's just fire everywhere in this room. The beds look like they're ablaze. The curtains are ablaze. There's some furniture that's still on fire, and the walls are lit, as you can see. So it's an active blaze here.
Okay. I'll just stumble back and say, not that one.
I assume you'll shut the door?
Yeah, I think that one needs to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah. Are you probably not? Leave that door open.
All right. So you figured that out. Who would be the next tallest? Probably Bryn, I would think.
Probably Bryn.
Yeah. What's Bryn up to?
Bryn is going to do the classic. Having worked with fire a lot, he knows the top thing to do when there's a fire, which is stop, drop, and roll. He falls prone and tries to look through the where the smoke is the thinnest, down at the bottom, to see if I can see any movement over here.
That's a great question. Let's see. It would be okay. Yeah, what I think you might notice is that from that angle, go ahead and do a perception check.
Perceive. Never mind. Never mind.
Yeah, it just looks just too misty, and it's difficult to really tell what's at the end of the hall.
Alright. Falling prone, what sort of action is that? Drop prone, one action. Alright, cool.
Yeah. We're kind of out of turns right now, so you don't have to necessarily do 3 full actions if you want to. But you're certainly welcome to do all 3 actions, and we'll just keep going in order.
I was actually going to see about doing this and making a face mask. just to try and get a little bit of the smoke.
Let's see. So,
Just making it a little bit easier to breathe, or at least more hard to breathe
maybe
in the
maybe
smoke.
fanning near your mouth or something. So it's keeping the fumes away. And sure, yeah, I think so. And being down low, you definitely notice that it feels a lot better down at that level than it did when you were standing a moment ago. Definitely a good move. Okay. So I think that's 3 for her. So it would then be probably the dwarf, probably Furbus next.
I think, yeah. I want to try the Ray of Frost. Try to shoot in a fire that can I see? Or is everything smoke?
It's all smoke.
It's smoky, just a smoke-filled hallway. This whole hallway is pretty smoke-filled. Now, if you want to try to spend an action to try to perceive more, you can try to do that. So you can try to make a perception check for your action to see if you're able to glean anything else. But right now, without taking
Isn't this door still open?
No.
that would be Dalet's
No?
call. Did you
Dalit
close it?
closed it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, gonna make a perception check.
You see all.
Yeah, it's almost like as if the smoke is enhancing your vision right now. No, so you get an angle, Furbus, where you can see that it looks like most of the smoke that's filling this area seems to be in the center of the room, in the center of the hallway. In other words, towards the far end of the hallway, it looks like there's a lot less smoke than there is in the center of the hallway coming from the doorways that you're nearest here.
Okay. I want to cover my mouth with my clothes or with my hand. And see if is there some window that doesn't break. Try to open it with a shot of the Ray of Frost. Is there another window?
Where at? Point to that again.
If there is another window that we can break for...
Oh, in this room, there's not a window that you see, but you do see. So if, again, I think based on your perception check, you would also notice that so there's 1, 2, 3 doors on that southern facing wall, and they're all closed, and they're all producing smoke. And on the north wall, there's a door here and here, or actually here, excuse me, and here are doors. And this is actually an opening. So that area there is, open. It's not, doesn't look like it's a window, and there are no other windows, but that is an open doorway. There's no door in it at all.
I'm gonna say if we can go there and try to bring something useful of that room.
Okay.
So you want to move over and check it out?
Yeah, you can move. Go ahead and
Yep. We're gonna move right there.
Okay. Let's see. Do I have everybody in here? Let me put little Yosh in as well. And I assume little Yosh is going to follow Furbus as you're doing these moves, or is he going to do something separate?
No, separate.
Okay. All right. So go ahead, and I think you have one more action after that for Furbus.
Okay. I only want to move right here and see the place, this room.
Perfect. Okay, so you turn that corner, and this is a plain stone-walled room with a polished floor, and it already looks like it's got a fair amount of smoke in here as well, but at the far end of the room, there is a stone dais, and standing on it is a marble statue of an armored half-elven woman. And in one of her hands, she is clutching a heavy shield, and the other hand she has in a fist over her heart. And so you get the sense that this may be a shrine, but you may want to make a religion check to see if you can identify who this would be.
Okay, let me see. Nope.
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't ring a bell yet. Of course, you're doing other things. Maybe you can study further later, but right now, that would be the most noticeable thing in the space. And there's nothing ablaze in there, but there is some smoke that's gathered in there from the rest of this hallway. I think that would be it for Furbus, but Yosh can follow you now or do whatever you'd like him to do. Oh wait, I gotta give the gnome has got to be taller than the bear.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
But no, go ahead. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. You can move the bear.
All right. All right. Rekla is going to go to the next doorway here and
Okay.
open it.
Okay. Yeah, the door opens with no problem. The source of the smoke, becomes evident again as this one opens. It is fully ablaze, walls, ceilings, everything else. And as you open the door, a gust of flame blows towards the door. And I'm going to have you make a reflex save, please. And you needed a 16.
You no longer have eyebrows.
So this thing blew through the door, and let me just double check the damage real fast. Oh, okay. So this one is gonna cause you 6 damage. And yes, your eyebrows are singed. So you got a blast of heat as this thing smacked you, and that burnt your eyes closed. But before they did, you could see, similar to what Dalit saw earlier, you would have seen 4 beds in here, and you would see that there were a few bodies in these beds. So that kind of told you that this fire, whatever happened, some of these people never made it out of their bed.
Yeah.
So
All right. With this last action, he'll close the door.
okay. All right. And that would be it for the round then. Let me get everybody in the right order I like the height order since we're out of turns. All right. And
How tall is Dalit?
that's a good question. Ben, how tall do you think Dalit is?
Human height. I've not put that much thought into it. I don't know. We'll just go 5'7".
Oh shit, Bryn is also 5'7".
Oh, there you go. So you guys are eye to eye. Yeah.
I'm gonna say I'm 5'7" and a half.
Okay then.
No.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, what was Bryn's ancestry again? I don't.
Half elf.
Half elf. Okay.
So I'm a bit more average. Hell, even short maybe for a half elf.
Yeah,
I
possibly.
think generally they're a bit taller than people.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if I'm not sure if that's the case in Pathfinder as much or not. That's a good question. But 5'7" and 5'7.5" sounds good to me. All right, so now we're to the second turn in the hallway, and the smoke has now refilled the whole room, and everybody in the room is going to have to do a check here. And let me double check what you're gonna do.
A 40 to check.
Oh,
Yeah, I assume it's gonna be a
survival.
fortitude.
Yeah, survival actually.
Oh,
Survival?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and it's okay. It's so Rekla and Furbus pass the check, and unfortunately, Bryn and Dalit, the taller. Isn't that funny? How the taller ones are gonna be affected by the smoke. Imagine how that works.
Don't I get like a little bit of a bonus because I'm prone on the ground with a shitty mask on?
That's true. Yeah, that is true. You are, even though you're of the tall variety, for some reason you are catching some smoke here in your position. But I think we might take that into account when we do the damage. But it's gonna be. I'll roll. Let's see. They were just simple
look it up.
failures. So
Half elves often appear primarily human with subtly pointed ears and a taller stature than most full-blooded humans.
oh, cool. That's cool. So elves are taller than elves themselves must
Yeah.
be. Okay.
I just have tall jeans.
All right, so
Ooh,
both of you will
I'll
take
have one too.
3 damage from the smoke.
Oh,
Alright, that isn't too bad.
No.
I thought you were going to say we take 39 damage there.
No, it does have a little bit of cumulative effect, so I'll caution you on that. But for now, you're just choking a little bit on the smoke, and the thing is though that you feel like you're beginning to suffocate a little bit. So it does become more severe if you have successive failures. But that would be it as far as just the quick health check. And so now it's your turns, and you can start with Bryn.
Yeah. Is this a door at the end?
Double door. There's a double door at the end.
How far can I make it? Make it to about here.
Let's see, so what's your movement?
I believe it is 20 feet. Because it's base 25.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
my armor gives me minus 5 feet.
Okay, so you're using all 3 to dash down the hall. Okay. It looks here, right? Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause I also got to get up from prone.
Yeah, that's true. One of your actions will be spent getting up from prone, and then you could spend the other 2 actions moving.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah.
Get up from prone, move to about here.
All right. I'm going to say as you pass that room, you would have been able to look in, and if you'd like to make a religion check, you would have seen the statue. It would have been pretty eye-catching as you passed by. Okay. However, you're not able to place it either at this point. Just too chaotic.
I'm not particularly a religious guy.
Yeah, and
It isn't Nethys, so I don't care.
yeah, it's not very important, but at the same time, since you saw it, if it registered, I would have said a little more about what you saw, but you make it to there. You then, I think that's 3, and
Yeah, it's 3.
Dalit is up.
All right, I'm going to spend 2 movements to get to the double doors and just try to get out of this hallway. I will go there and whip those doors open. Or try to.
All right, yeah, let me see, double check something here. Looking for something here real fast. All right, so yeah, these doors swing open for you, and you look around, and the smoke in this room is really minimal. There's a couple of little wafting spots where there's some smoke that's built up, but it's largely clearer air. There are a couple of padded chairs, and actually let me move you into the space just so you can see on the map. There are a couple of padded chairs and side tables along the west wall. There's a thick burgundy carpet over most of the floor and several oil paintings hanging on the walls. There are a couple shelves as well that contain some little statuettes and small art pieces. And there is a dead body strewn across one of the chairs. The center. It quickly registers to you that it's a black tear that's laying across the chair.
Okay.
So that's what you're seeing from the doorway, and I think that's 3, right?
Yeah.
2 moves.
That was everything.
2 move open, and all right. So Furbus is up next.
Is there here another door?
Yep. You want to check that door?
Yes, please.
All right. Yeah. As you open that door, make a reflex savings throw, please.
Oh,
All right, you are able to successfully jump backward as the flame jumps through the doorway as the doors open, and you're able to dodge the extent of damage that the fire would have caused you. But a lot of heat comes through that door and pushes you backward as well. And as it dissipates, you are able to look in, and I'll just move you into the doorway so you can see. And in the room there are, it looks like, several beds and 4 beds and some furniture that are ablaze and smoking still. Let's see, anything else distinct in here? There is a window on the far side of the wall that is still intact, and that's about the extent of what from where you're standing. Yep.
Okay.
So it's very smoky in here, and it's ablaze.
Okay. I use 1 action or 2 for this.
I think you moved to get to the door, right? And then you opened the door, so 2, I think, and then you have 1 more.
Okay. If I only have 1, I gonna use for my animal companion to move a little Josh with his 35 of movement right here with Dalet.
Okay, perfect. All right, so
Okay.
that is little Yosh, and then it's Rekla.
Okay, Rekla is going to move down the hallway. Maybe peek through the door at the statue as he moves to the next door
Sure,
on this hall.
sure. Go ahead and do a religion check if you'd like.
Religion. No.
It's a mystery. It's just the mystery of the smoky lady, the smoky half-elven lady.
And I think this time
Who
he's
knows?
just gonna this time he's just gonna pound on a door rather than open it and yell, "Is there anybody in there?"
Okay, there we go. You do not hear a response.
And was there
And-
one
We
more
not
door, or
them.
was that the last one?
That's the last door. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a piece of furniture here in the map that sticks out, but that's not a door.
Gotcha. Then with his last action, he'll run and follow Dalet into the last room.
All right, perfect. I'll put an X through this black tier so that it doesn't cause alarm. As you enter the room, you see this same scene that Dalet saw. Okay, perfect. So, all right, back to the top of the order. So now everybody's going to do another survival check. Those of you who are in the doorway can have a +1 to your check. Rekla is good. Just looks like Bryn and Furbus are going to fail.
I think I gonna use my hero point.
Ah, there you go. I like it.
Yeah.
I should have been
Uh,
soliciting for the hero point all along.
Oh my god.
There's a good roll. There's a better roll. Wow. Okay.
Sorry.
There is very little chance of me actually succeeding, so I'm not going to use my hero point yet.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. Yeah. So just mark your hero points off there for Furbus, and that was a pretty good use of a reroll, I would say. So it's just gonna be then. It looks like just Bryn will take some damage
Just
from
Bryn.
the smoke-filled
Delicate
hallway.
lungs.
Again, it's interesting how the dice know, or the game seems to know, because Bryn is the one in the center of the thickest part of the smoke, and that's the only person taking damage. I don't know how Roll20 does it, but all right. This will be 4 damage to Bryn as she's just continuing to choke on the smoke, or he is choking on the smoke and trying to get out of there. And it's actually his turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speed.
Full speed, as far away from the smoke as possible.
Yes.
It's just purely theatrical coughing.
You just see this
Are you
half-elf
okay?
in full sprint coming down the hall and coughing and choking at the same time, but flies by you guys. So you're safely in the room. I think do you have any movement left or another action left?
No, I triple moved.
Okay. All right, Dalit, you're up now.
Okay, I will move to the body and inspect it. Forget, there's no investigation check. I guess I'll just do a perception check and
Sure.
look at it to try and determine what killed it. Or him.
Yeah, that's certainly possible.
Didn't go well.
Yeah, you're not quite sure why he died, and there is no real obvious thing that you could start to hypothesize from, but he's just laying there slumped over. He has
Whatever killed him, it was probably fatal.
It was of the fatal variety. Yeah, and I think you would see that he does still seem to have his gear that you would have seen on the others. They both have those black-handled daggers. So he's got 2 black-handled daggers on him, and he's got a black leather armor on as well, and cloak. The others that you saw didn't have armor. That would be the only difference. They didn't have any chest armor or anything like that. They were just wearing cloaks and cloth. But you have one more action, I think. Or, yeah.
Is
yeah.
this knife that's on the table, is that his knife?
No, it doesn't look like the black-handled type that he's carrying. It looks like something else, somebody else's.
Then I will go and check that out.
Sure, let's see. So it's
You want me to roll perception for that too? Or like a warfare lore check?
Sure. Yeah, I think you could do perception. Actually, I think if you're like trying to determine something about it, maybe there is a warfare lore or
Do a warfare roll, trying to determine whether or not it belongs in the house, or if it was used recently in this fight or anything.
Let's see, it is a ornate dagger, and it does not appear as if it was used in this fight. It sits as if it's on display.
Cool.
Yeah.
Not the murder weapon.
Yep. All right. So Dalet's checking things out in the room. Furbus is up next.
Wait, are you trying to figure out what murdered the enemy?
Yeah. It wasn't us.
Whose blood is it?
Oh.
Okay, you got 1 movement to there.
Is there... Oh. Can I see something special in this room?
So let's see, let me double check what you're seeing. Okay, yeah, you should be able to, your token should be able to see now. So this has got several padded seats in it, oil paintings on the wall. There's art pieces that are on display in here. It looks pretty fancy as far as it's almost like a little treasure room and parlor. And the smoke in here is a lot clearer than where you're coming from. You can definitely look around and see very clearly in this room, and your team in here looking around as well. So you got 2 more actions.
Okay, with one answer, I'm gonna move little Josh out of this dangerous smoke. I wanna to search if I can find, I don't know, a secret door or something like that.
Are you talking about for Furbus? Yeah, so you can do a perception check.
Okay. I am very lucky today.
So I think as you look around, you don't see any secret doors or anything like that, but I think you're spending a little more time maybe looking at the objects that are in the room. And let's see, let me just double check here. Do a society check if you would. I'm going to give you some other information based on that.
Okay. Oh, I have a 0.
It's okay. Because you already passed
Yeah.
your perception check. This is just to figure out how much information I was going to give you on this. But you look around, and even though you're no expert on art or these types of objects, even you know that the collective value of the things in this room is way beyond probably anywhere Furbus has ever been before. That the wealth on display in this room is that lavish. You don't have a value or anything in your mind of what these things are worth exactly, but it would just strike you really noticeably. And particularly being a druid, a dwarven druid, right? It would be like counterculture to you as far as how someone could live like this. Yeah.
And I see all of this. I only want to say, what the hell is the exit of this place?
Keep in mind the door is still open behind you. There's a double door,
Okay.
and you came through the only open of the two doors. You do have an action left, and you can close that door if you'd like, or you can move out of that square if you'd like.
Yeah, I think I can shut that door.
All right,
That
perfect.
door.
I'll just slide you forward. Yeah, there we go. That way we know you guys are all safe and sound at the heart of the room, or at the heart of this, and you're in this room now. And once that door closes and you cut off that source of smoke from the hallway, it's pretty bearable as far as that's concerned. This looks like probably a good spot for us to take a quick mid-session break because we're halfway. We'll take like 6 or 7 minutes here if you guys want to take a quick bio break, grab a beverage, stretch, whatever, and we'll
Great.
come back and pick up from this room. All right, be right back. All right, so everybody back? We'll pick up in the gallery here that you're standing in with these fine furnishings and artwork all around you.
Is everyone back?
Yes.
Yep.
Did roll 20
Okay.
great for you?
No, I was just curious.
Ah,
There is a door on the northern wall there by Bryn, and there's a door on the southern wall there by Rekla. Those are the only two ways in and out that you guys see. And of course, there's a lot. I'll let you guys decide what you want to do. I guess we can keep going through it in order. Rekla would be next.
Okay. I guess I'll listen at the door that he's standing next to. Is that what you're saying? This right here is a door, or are you talking about the double doors?
No, you're right. There's one straight ahead on the southern wall as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll
Um,
listen to that door. Do I hear anything through that door? Should I do a perception?
Yeah, go ahead and do a perception. You don't hear anything.
All right. I think he'll attempt to open it.
Okay. You are able to swing open the door. I'll move you in there just so you have a little better vision. This is a very slightly smoky room, even less than the gallery you're just stepping from, and you'll see that there are wooden racks along the walls, and those wooden racks are holding various weapons. There's also some stands, some wooden stands that are designed to hold suits of armor. Most of the weapon racks and armor stands are now empty, and there are some scattered weapons laying across the floor and armor pieces as well.
Mhm.
So that's what.
Does it look like it was? I guess we wouldn't be able to tell the difference. All right. And do I see windows or doors?
There
Is this a window?
There is a window on the southern wall. Yeah, I'm sorry, and there's a door on the northern wall right there.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I'll call out that information to everyone in the room, and I'll head to the next door. And that would probably be his last turn.
Okay. All right. All right. So that brings us to the next round. At this point, the smoke is not having any lasting effects. So those of you who were affected before are catching your breath now in this room and not severely choking as you were before. And you would have heard, I think, Rekla has let you know that he's found the armory, it would appear, and there's no one in it. So Bryn is up next.
Alright. Bryn is going to catch his breath a bit. Cough, cough. Sure will Smoky in there. And he's gonna open the door right in front of him.
All right.
I'd like to note, he didn't notice that this door was here until he stopped coughing. Because I didn't notice that the door was here until you pointed it out.
Oh yeah, the way your token kind of sits too, and I'll make a round token. It's hard to see sometimes. So.
I've already made a round token, I just...
Oh, is it? If you want to put that on your character sheet, I can probably switch it out for us whenever, but let's see. You go...
I've already done that.
Oh, okay. All right, then I'll move that over. So this door opens, and in it, I'm going to move you in it for a second so I can describe this to you.
Oh boy!
Yeah, you...
I'd like to think I, like, open the door, see all of these, and just kind of close the door quietly.
Make a stealth check. Make a stealth check.
Ooh. I'm alright at stealth.
That's... Yeah, I'll give you a chance here to see what you might have been able to do in that regard.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna use my hero point here.
Okay.
This is why I didn't use my hero point before.
Yeah, you might have a fighting chance, right? Oh no.
Never mind.
Oh shit.
Oh, no.
Even more noise.
All right.
Oh, that is awful.
You got the door to open, and inside of the room, as you could see some of it there for a second, there are several large pieces of furniture. There's padded chairs and couches, and there is a billiards table in the center of the room. And what really caught your attention were the 3 people that were standing around the billiards table when you poked your head in. And of course, trying to slip out, unfortunately, weren't able to do so without...
I assume I open it, they all look at me like when you come in late for class, and I'm just like, oops, wrong place.
Yeah.
And I just close the door, like...
Yeah, and it looked like when you came in there, they were like absolutely making themselves at home, and they look like they are black tears. So it was a sudden and shocking exchange for both sides, let's say. But yeah, so you used one to open, you used one to close. You probably still have an action if you want to do anything else.
Yeah. Actually, I think I do want to do something else. I have one more action.
Nice. All right. What does your magical shield look like when you cast it?
It looks like an eye, almost. Think similar to, what's it called? The Eye of Sauron. That's what it's called.
Oh, I got you. So
It's similar to that.
And it just envelops Bryn.
It's like hovering around almost.
Very cool. Yeah, so that would be, everyone would see that for the first time potentially if they're
You
looking
see a
in that
flaming
direction.
eye just come into existence right next to Bryn as Bryn was like, oops, wrong door, and holds onto
Yeah.
his hammer like something's about to come through the door.
Yep.
Oh,
But the way this is going, we might think you are on fire. So
All right, that brings up Dalit then. You would have seen that, and it's your turn.
Okay, cool. Bryn's blocking the door, right?
Yes, I'm right in front of the door
there is a
because I'm
door
expecting.
there. Yeah, let me just move you back here, and that way you guys can see it. We'll adjust, but that's the door, and it's closed at the moment.
Okay. I will kick this chair out of the way and stand here and ready in action. That's if anything comes through the door, I'll attack it.
Nice. Okay. All right. Verbus.
okay. Can I delay my turn and wait if somebody try to enter in this room?
So you can delay your turn and decide to go at the end of the round, but that means you'll have to stay there. We're going to roll initiative if you enter into battle here in a second. I'm going to have you guys re-roll and actually use actual initiative, which I should probably do that now since Bryn just acted and alerted you to them. Let me have you guys click on your character token and then roll initiative on your sheets, and we'll rebuild the initiative order based off your actual skills.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
I have never been able to roll
Man,
well for
Spurvis! Spurvis!
Fervus is our only hope.
I don't know what is happening today.
initiative.
Yeah, actually, there we go. So it actually put it in order for us. Fervus, go ahead.
I know. I think I gonna delay my turn and expect the enemy try to break in this room because I can prepare my spells because they didn't made one action or make them like 2 action and all my spells is for 2 action.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you wanted to, you could ready an attack and still get the attack off. But
Oh,
yeah, otherwise
right. Mm-hmm. No, I think I gonna delay. Yeah.
okay. Who do you want to go at the end then? We'll put you all the way at the end, or is there someone else that you want to act after specifically?
After Dalit?
Dalit. Okay. All right. All right. So that means that you guys hear some noise on the other side of the door, and for the first time you actually hear a voice, a very loud voice that catches your attention from the other side of the doorway, and you hear some movement coming towards the door. The movement stops, and it would be to Dalit. I know you readied an action actually. So if you wanted to just if you want to do that again here, you're welcome to do that. And since we re-rolled order there, but it's up to you.
Yeah, because Bryn hasn't moved yet, so I'm just gonna chill there, wait with my action.
Okay. Fervus, then you want to continue to delay or
Yeah, I think.
Hold.
wait and see? All right, Rekla.
Should I do a perception to see if he's caught on to what's happening in the other room?
Oh yeah, so let me just double check something for you real quick. Yeah, go ahead and do perception. You hear something. You hear some concern in Bryn's voice that you would have heard.
Oh, whoops. Didn't mean to interrupt you guys.
And did he perceive any noise coming from the other side of the door that he's standing in front of?
He did not.
Okay. He's going to move straight back into the room. I think he can get to there with one action.
Yeah.
This next action, he will equip his crossbow
Okay.
and load it.
All right. Bolt's in, and Rekla's in his spot. So that brings up Bryn. You would hear them right on the other side of the door. Multiple voices.
I am going to ready an action that if one of the guys opens the door, I'm going to do a spell strike.
Okay. All right.
Ooh.
Are you gonna stay standing when you're doing that? Are you turned a little? What's your positioning as you're standing at the door?
I'm like just holding my thing ready. My weapon. I wave it around just a tiny bit, and you guys see the glimmer of fire on the head of this hammer, but aside from that, he's just waiting.
Got it. Okay. And I'm switching your token now too, by the way, so that should be updating. I'm gonna link it to your hit points as well. Thanks for making the token. That's cool.
Fine. It's something I always do. I just like having round tokens.
Yeah, I do too. I don't know why it's not. Oh. It's your hero points it's mapping to. Let's see. There we go. Do I have hero points on your other tokens? I think I do. You guys have hero points in green. Okay, yeah. All right.
Okay. That's there then. There we go.
Awesome. All
And then
right.
I've got blue as my focus points.
Okay. All right. She is, or he is ready, and we are at. Where are we at here? We had Dallas. I think we're all out of order here. Let me resort this.
Oh, I need to put myself back on the initiative too.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what it was. That's why. Okay, that's what confused me.
Now I'm here twice.
Oh, I can eliminate that bottom one. There we go. Okay. All right. So I think now we are back at the top of the order. Furbus had deferred his turn, so I'm going to update him to be after Dalit from now on for this because he used delay. You hear the door knob start to turn, and the door swings open, and through it you see a human emerge bearing 2 daggers, one in each hand, and tries to step forward. But at that point, a few things trigger. Those of you who had a delayed action will start through the turn order. I think Dalit, you had the first one, right?
Yep.
So you can fire your attack off. Let me just move Bryn back 1 second and move this cutthroat.
If you want, I can be like here.
That'd be fine, because you could still interact with the door or anything else. I just wanted them to be able to see their target here. But he's really in the doorway. Yeah. Okay, all right. Swing of the Aldori dueling sword. Our first of the evening. That one strikes true. And let's see. Let me double check his status here, because that's a mighty blow.
But there's also max damage that I could do without doing a critical.
Yeah, all right. Dalit, tell us how you killed this thing with one shot.
We'll say the hand coming through the door, estimated the length of the arm, and just swung for the head.
And you cleanly lop that off and send it like a billiards ball back into the room towards the billiards table, and it hits the leg of the table. And the rest of you, I think, who had an action readied, I'll kind of decide if you want the effect to happen or not, but you would have first seen Dalit remove the head of this thug. So I think, Furbus, did you have something readied? No? How about Bryn? Did you have anything readied there where you were going to do this?
I did have my spell strike, but I'd like to think that before I even had a chance to do that,
you
like
second guessed
it
it.
just
Was like, yeah. Okay.
No, before I could do it, like this guy suddenly has no head.
There was no life force to target. There was just no life force to target anymore. So yeah, he's headless. Behind him, though, you see what looks like another one standing in the doorway who basically the ball rolled through his legs. He was the pocket, so to speak, and he's now standing in shock. But he does try to throw a dagger across the room, and he sees Rekla across the room.
Is he here?
He's there, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'll do attack of opportunity. That's a ranged attack.
Yeah, I guess you could do that if you have that ability.
It's just something you can do.
I think only
That's a
the
reaction.
fighter can make a attack opportunity at this level.
Yeah, I think only the fighters have an attack of opportunity. You have to have a feat for it. I think that's
Okay, then I can't do that.
What I'll say though is that you had already prepared your spell strike, and as the door opened, you may have seen both of these guys in the doorway. So if you wanted to redirect the spell strike to the other guy instead of just canceling it, right? Then I'm fine with that. Yeah. So that
it could have even gone off so quickly you thought you were firing at the first.
It literally could have been simultaneous.
And it goes right in between where the sword went and just hits the guy behind.
Yeah, so you can roll that, and
And
then
I will do a
we'll get him marked down.
bonk. Nope, never mind.
Oh,
Ah, all right. So the hammer didn't strike true this time, but again, I think the damage has been done with the headless thug. That means that, oh wait, the attack on
The attack.
Rekla
Yeah.
is coming. Let's see. All right. Oops, I clicked the wrong thing here. How's your armor class there? Is it better than a 15?
Armor class is not better than a 15.
Okay. All right.
13.
So this cutthroat, the black tear, he just quickly throws this dagger at you and caught you off guard, and it's sticking out of your side here, and you take 6 damage, and he looks like he's got another dagger kind of lined up, like he's gonna throw it next, and he makes a second attack. So this one is gonna be, there we go, also a strike, and he gets you for 5 more damage. After that,
Down.
all right, so you fall. You've got a couple daggers sticking out of you. He turns with his last action and starts to move out of the doorway. So he's no longer standing straight in the doorway. So that is it for them. And that brings up Dalit.
Oh, okay, cool. I was just looking at a feat real quick. Yes. All right, I'm gonna move into the room. Oh, okay. That might have been a mistake. Yeah, move into the room next to the black tier. And I will do a snagging strike. I don't think I have to end on. I'll try doing that.
Oh.
All right,
You
cool.
want to use a hero point?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Nice that it's not fumble, but
Yeah, it's not a
Not great.
1, but it's not a critical miss either. Unfortunately, yeah, you just can't connect there, but you're right behind him. You're right on his trail. What you're seeing in this room, now that you're in here, and for those of you who are about to be in here, you see this billiards table in the center of the room. There's some furniture, some nice matching furniture that is laid about. On the far side, northern part of the room, it looks like a maybe particularly notable black tier is standing there, who looks similar in style, but potentially wearing a completely different looking kind of outfit that makes him stand out as somebody who's probably in charge of something with this operation. And more disturbingly, on this western wall, there's like a sofa there, you see let me double check what she was. You see somebody familiar that you saw in the Great Hall. You don't remember her name right now when you're looking at her, but you remember, you think, speaking to her, and she was elven. She had some dark beliefs that didn't sit well with everybody, and she's tied up. She's tied up and gagged on the couch or the sofa there, so you would see that as well. So you got 2 more, or 1 more action, right?
Yeah, 1 more. I am trying my snagging strike. I'm just gonna take another swing.
Okay. Oh, that's a good choice.
yeah.
That might have been a good choice. All right, so
I'll accept.
let's see. So you did 8 damage. You did the critical damage, did less there than your normal damage. Isn't that crazy?
What? That seems like bullshit.
That's definitely odd. So you hit him with some real precision with the strike. Where would you have aimed your slash?
Second dice,
We'll
I'll
say
be
I-
right back.
Sure.
Missed with the first one. I'll just come right back up with the second one, trying to slash across his chest.
Okay. So yeah, so he's like, you basically have cut him open to the point that you can see inside of his torso. He's that split open right now, but he is not fallen, believe it or not.
Oh, I see what it is. Okay. Got it. Yep, that makes sense. Sorry, I was doing math on my critical damage dice.
Yeah, no, I was did the same thing right away once it first rolled. I was like, that's odd, but it seems like they did it right. So just an odd circumstance that you rolled so good with the regular damage and then poorly with the crit. But this guy is on death's door. He's going to bleed out. You're not a doctor. You don't even have to make a medicine check, and you know that this man is going to bleed out in front of your eyes based on the damage you just did to him. Hell of a hit. All right, Furbus would be next. Furbus, you probably just would have seen blood splattering across the billiards table from your point of view. You probably didn't see the whole thing that he did there, but you would definitely have caught just the outer edge of that through the angle you have. Go ahead, sir.
Okay.
I see Ragla on the ground and I say, today no one of will die, my friend. And I want to cast with new actions.
Okay. All right.
So D8 plus 8. So, yep.
Oh no.
9 points of
Ugh.
good damage of healing. 9 points of healing for Ragla.
Thank you.
Rekla is
You're welcome.
feeling much better there. Unfortunate positioning. That was just and some brutal rolls that came there. So
Yeah.
it happens. It's just but you're back. So awesome. So Purpose, you have one more action still.
Yeah, I gonna for my animal companion to follow Dalet in that room.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So you can go ahead and move him into the room.
Okay.
This is what appears to be the leader that you're seeing there. This is the other adventurer that's hostage at this point, and this is the split open black tier. So that's what you see there. That's a billiards table, and yeah, so the bear can assess this.
Okay, I think I gonna finish my movement right here.
Okay.
Then, with the last action of Little Joe's, he gonna make a attack.
All right.
Jaws.
I'll turn him facing towards the threat here. All right, go for it. The first one is, let's see, what do you need? Let me double check. The 16 is a hit.
Oh.
That's exactly what you needed. So
Mhm.
the damage is 6 points of damage. All right, so he coils back as the black bear clinches on his arm, or is he what's he biting for?
Yeah, the arm of this strange guy.
Okay. Yeah, so he gets a hold of this guy's arm and he shrieks out as he pulls back and he pulls out he has his own dagger in his hand. So he looks like he's in a fair bit of pain as this bear is locked into his arm. And that then brings up our gnome.
Yes. So on map I can't see into the room.
Okay, let
Is there?
me move you into it real fast just so I think it will fill in on your map if I move you in and then move you back. I think it should stay.
No,
Does
it
it do
didn't.
that? Oh, okay.
But I was just basically getting to the point of knowing if I had sight lines on anyone, and I don't think I do, right?
No, you don't, unfortunately.
Okay.
Actually, what I can do, guys, is I should be able to move the doors on this layer. So I'll try to do that real quick here if I can. There it is. Does that help? You able to
Yeah.
see in there? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I can see the table and just the edge of a guy.
Okay, I'll start doing that. I'll start trying to remove these doors as you're stepping through, and it should help us. But if you do close the door, let me know so I can fix that. But otherwise, I think we're good. So, yeah, you just see a bloody pool table.
Yeah. So he'll move in through the doorway and basically step to the right since that's the only space he can go to.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he's going to fire off his crossbow at the
Okay.
hostile right there.
Yeah, he is basically, let me see if there's any additional description of him. Let me show you this. This is the guy that you're fighting there.
Gotcha.
And what's missing from the picture is there's a bear attached to his arm. And that's didn't show up in this graphic, but that's all right. So I think you had the miss on that.
Yeah, and so with the last action of his turn, he will cast shield, and his shield comes up, and it almost looks like the Milky Way, like this ray of stars that appears in front of him.
Oh, that's nice.
Like a wall of stars.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Asteroid field. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Very good. That means Rekla is good, and Bryn would be next. Ozzy, did you make that?
There's a guy over here.
Yeah, there's a guy that's standing to Dalet's left through the doorway.
Yeah, I see that guy.
Yeah. And then in the back corner is a hostage that would be in your sight. You would see a hostage back there.
Is that all I see?
As far as people, yeah, that would be all you would see there.
Then I am going to do
Electric arc. Okay. So you're aiming that towards this one that's next to Dalet?
Yeah. Although, hold on a second.
Let's see. So you've got the range right. I think that's good. Let's see.
Oh, sorry, it's not meant to be charisma, it's meant to be intelligence. I forgot I'm not a charisma-based caster.
Okay, okay.
So, let me... There we go. The same amount of damage.
Yeah, it's the same, but it would be the end of this cutthroat. You get your arc just in the perfect angle, like a billiard shot, around and your companion Dalet, and then into this already injured, split open cutthroat, and he expires and falls over in a bloody heap, and so he is dead.
Are you not making a reflex save?
No, I'm not going to even bother because he is on death's door.
Okay.
He is so damaged, it's even if he tries to avoid it, he's going to hurt himself. Yeah.
Yeah. Bryn, like, twirl his hammer a little bit and point it towards him, and this red lightning just shoots out and splatters this guy all over the place.
Yeah. And so that would be, most of you would have seen that. Probably only Furbus didn't see that. So that guy falls over. Go ahead, Bryn. I think you have...
I do have one more action.
Can target the other enemy with the same attack.
What was that?
I think Bren can target the another enemy also with this attack.
I can't see that enemy.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's true.
Yeah,
technically, you're right, but they didn't have a chance to see them to even target. Yeah. No, that's a good. That's a good
now
point.
Bryn's going to do the little
bear and the cutthroat leader.
Oh man.
And the hostage more clearly as well. Let's see. Actually, let's have Bryn do a perception check. And I'll see if...
Perceive nothing, because I am not great at perception. I fucking know it. Man, this pool table sure does look nice.
Yeah, this is high quality felt. You do not, you don't recognize the individual beyond, or any more than the others did, but you would have recognized their face, but you just don't remember their name or anything about them at this point. But certainly would be obvious that they've been tied up and gagged, and they're being held against their will in this room. let's see. Do you have any other?
Nope.
Anything?
That was 3
Fine.
actions.
All right, perfect. All right, so that brings us back to the next turn here. Let's see, have we been re-rolling initiative or just sticking with it? So we'll just stick with it here. What are we at? So the guy with the bear on his arm is going to try to deposit his knife into the bear. So he's attacking at the bear. Let's see. 1 second.
Oh,
So he strikes the bear. Is that a crit?
yeah, is that a crit?
Yeah, he did the same damage. So once this one worked in your favor. But yeah, so he does a critical strike to the bear with his dagger. He's able to get better positioning now that he's struck the bear back and returned some damage. He then takes his other hand that's been freed now and swings it as well towards the bear. So he's going to take a second attack. And he's going to miss with that one. His injured hand cannot strike the bear. With that, he is going to... He's going to step this way with his last action. And that brings up Dalit.
Oh, you're muted, Ben.
There we go. All right, cool. Yeah, so I can't get to him in 1 movement, so I'm going to use 2 and do that sudden charge. To get over there.
Okay.
Does this count as flanking with the bear?
Yeah, that you could draw a line through there. Yeah.
All right. So then I'm going to do that strike. Charge.
Ooh, good hit.
Cool. I'm going to assume he's still alive.
Yeah, you definitely got a big piece of him on that strike, but he is still standing.
All right. So then I'm going to attempt the snagging strike again on my last attack. Nope. I think that's a critical miss, too.
Yeah, that is actually a critical miss. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have a table in here or anything.
Yeah, we didn't last time.
Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe something we'll add at some point, but yeah, it's just a terrible miss at this point. One good strike, one solid strike, one whiff, but definitely looks like you took a chunk out of him. Good turn. Furbus.
Okay. I think my first action is move. Oh yeah, move right here in this room. For my second action, I'm gonna cast for little Josh. Is this okay? Guidance for little Josh. So he gonna have a +1 status bonus to 1 attack.
Okay.
And with my last action, I'm gonna attack with little Josh.
Okay.
So this have a +1. So let me see. Okay. 11. For the last action of Live Yours, Cloud attack. Nope.
All right. So yeah, he's just having a tough time getting him. He's getting a little panicked, and maybe he's moving oddly, and the strikes aren't hitting. But that's you got him pretty well cornered at the moment. So that brings up.
Okay, Rekla he's going to cast Daze, targeting the same gentleman.
Nice.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'll do a save check for this one. All right, so he is affected.
And he takes 4 damage.
Oh man, he is no longer alive. I guess how would someone die of daze? How do you think somebody dies of daze?
I think what happens is, like, all of a sudden he just, like, his head knocks back for a second and his eyes go wide and then you can just see the lights turn out, and he just collapses straight down.
Yeah. Yeah. So he falls over in a heap as well. His dagger falls out of his hand and he's laying there. And you guys don't perceive any other threats in the room. So we'll drop out of the turns and give you guys a chance to check things out.
Excellent.
I think Rekla's gonna do some medicine on himself to begin, just because.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Bryn is also going to do some medicines.
Okay. That's a good one. Just these are regulars. Yeah. Just let me know if you're doing something different.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
shit.
No way.
Why?
No way. Oh, that could be.
I think
That
I
causes
think
damage.
that was
Yeah, I think that's a damage causing roll.
It is.
Typically, yeah.
Kind
I
of,
think you'll do a
1d.
wonderful.
1d8.
1d8
Yeah, 1d8.
could be worse.
Yeah. Does someone else want
Here, I
to
can do it
help?
best.
Amazing
Yeah.
check.
I try to sew up my wound and I accidentally stab myself in the hand.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Failed that check anyway.
Yeah, you need. Anyone else want to attempt it? It's, by the way, it's 10
Yeah.
minutes typically, right? I'm assuming that this is all happening simultaneously. If anyone else
Mhm.
wants to make the check.
Big amazing check for Bryn.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, okay?
It is
let's
his thing,
see.
kind of. And he still missed.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and
Can't-
I think by this time, Rekla might be able to attempt.
Sure, you would be in another 10-minute section, but you could absolutely attempt it, yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie, while they're doing this, I'll go over and free this lady. Free.
Okay, yeah,
I assume someone would.
it would be hilarious though that you're all just sitting there just healing up. concerned.
I stab myself in the hand and then I just start reading furiously. I am doing.
So yeah,
Oh.
I think you guys have your healing. That
yeah.
that you need to roll
We do
for
the
that.
2d8, yeah.
And
There you go, 9.
what you
Ooh, I'm back at full health.
Mhm.
you go up to the hostage there, and that she's just sprawled out on the couch with her mouth gagged, her hands are tied behind her back with some rope, and on the table next to her there appears to be a knife sitting with the edge of it in a candle.
Oh.
You're muted, Ben. I think.
I was just mouthing to myself.
Oh, okay. My
I
bad.
was
My
trying
bad.
to picture a
That
knife.
was like real life muting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's. Don't do that to me. Don't mime. I'm gonna now. It's just screwing with me.
I just double check before I wanted to talk.
Yeah, so that's, and I think now the rest of you could make perception checks to see if you can recall anything else about her as he's freeing this elf.
Clueless. Completely clueless.
You remember nothing.
I don't even recognize
Finally,
her.
some good fucking rolls.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, we have several of you, Rekla, Furbus, Bryn, would all remember now more about this person, that she is someone that you would have seen in the Great Hall, and some of you had a chance to talk with, and she is some type of casting elf. And as you talked with her and got a little bit to know her, she seemed like she was someone who worshipped some type of dark, maybe considered dark or perceived as dark beliefs, and she had some kind of odd points of view about life and death that made you guys a little bit uncomfortable about welcoming her into your group. And she didn't seem that interested in joining your group either. Those of you who have passed, that's what you recall about her. But at the same time, she was invited to the Call of Heroes just as you were, and she was here for the same reason. And she's certainly, not a part of, or doesn't seem like she's a part of, what's transpiring in the room. So as you free her, she's quickly rips the gag out of her mouth and is, "By the gods, thank you. They were about to try to interrogate me. So your arrival was fortuitous. What the hell is going on?
Man, I wish I knew.
It appears as if somebody has hired this band of mercenaries to attack us, or maybe even just Lady Jamandi.
They brought giants with them.
They brought giants and an ogre.
Yeah. Nice, James.
She says, I overheard him. And she looks over, she's like kind of rubbing her wrists from the marks that were left and everything. And she's looking over at the slumped over leader that you killed. And she says, I heard him. He said that the lady has been cornered by, and something about giants.
Lady has
We
been
heard she was in
cornered.
a safe one.
They were trying to get me to tell them where Lady Jamandi was taken. But then it didn't make sense because they were going, they have her cornered, they said.
Are there two people there? Some?
So she is Jathal, by the way, is her name. Let me put that into the chat. And again, I think, yeah, you guys at this point would sense that they were very likely setting up a little interrogation here for her, and may or may not have been telling her the truth, but she seems truthful when she's telling you that he, Nishkev was his name. He said that they have the lady cornered and the giants are there.
Can I rifle through this guy's Nishkev's clothing to see if he has any messages on him?
Yeah, let's see. You take a look at his items. You take a look at... Just double checking. He on him has the dagger, the two daggers, of course. He's got leather armor. You find it actually has a total of 6 daggers. Excuse me. Yeah, including the one that he had used earlier. But and then you find 3 potions on him as well. But you don't find any other notable items.
If we're gonna leave the area, before we do, could somebody give me some healing actually? Because I'm at half hit points right now. I survived this long by luck.
Let's see here.
Jathal will grab one of the daggers
Oh,
unless you guys try to stop her. She doesn't seem to be equipped, so she reaches and grabs one to take with her. Yeah, it looks like you get an extra D8 on that.
oh really?
Yeah, for the crit.
I think.
Oh.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
All right.
Oh yeah, it might be. Is it 40? It might be 48 if you want to double
think
check
so.
that. So you might even get one more. I think it might be
Yeah.
48. It is?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, there we go.
Tell you what,
There we
let's
go.
pretend that
Oh,
was-
right. There you go. There's the law of averages.
Let's
Finally.
do I only need 1 more hit point to get up to full hit points. I was like, we just pretend that was a 1.
Yeah, so really in the course of 20 minutes or so, 20 or 30 minutes, you would have been able to do the healing, free Jathal, and learn from her what it was that they were saying, search the bodies, recover those 3 potions, those 6 daggers. She's got a dagger now. I think most of you have healed. Okay.
And I've relearned how to do jujitsu. I have my
And-
focus point back.
Yes, and some martial art practice was done. Yeah, so you guys are in position now. There are windows here, one here and one behind the cutthroat, the leader, and then there's a door on this southern wall here that's closed. So that would be the only ways in and out that you spot.
If we look out the window, can we see anything?
Sure, you could see into the garden areas around the manor. Let me just do a perception check, and I'll see if whoever would like
Yeah.
to look out the window, maybe, and I'll...
Really, just
Oh.
I'm looking for giants specifically.
Yeah, I hear you. So you don't see anything really that out of the ordinary in the gardens. It doesn't It's not well lit at the moment, but there was a storm that took place. So you see it's just wet out there and dark at the moment. You don't see anything notable other than that. You could probably see to the east that there's some smoke in the air. To the east.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Let everybody know there's some smoke due east. But other than that, just wet as hell.
What would you all like to do? And we're out of turns here. It's just one of those things where if you want to declare what you want to do as an individual or work together as a team on what you're going to do, but I think basically Rekla did go down into this room. That's the only place that the others haven't been. And then he listened to the door in that room and didn't hear anything. So I assume maybe you want to listen to this door here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah, it's probably.
I won't.
Yeah, probably do that from now on.
So let's see. So go ahead and roll those for all of you because this will be a different angle. Even Rekla, you'll get to roll. Okay. And let me just see.
Should I roll too? Or no?
No, I'll just take yours that you already did. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go with Dalit specifically here that you would have heard what sounds like a distant clanking of weapons, possibly. It sounds from this distance, it sounds like pots and pans rattling together, but it sounds as if there is some activity, and you get the sense that it's probably deeper in the complex in this direction, and not immediately behind the door, but you would have pieced that together.
I'll let them know that there's clanking. It could be fighting, or, hear me out, there was that fire earlier. Somebody could still be cooking. Could be pots and pans going.
Yeah, it could be.
So, yeah, let them know there's fighting going on. I can hear something. Can't tell where. You guys want to keep going through?
Yeah, might as well.
Sure.
All right.
If you like this time, I can just open the door and see what's full rush through. Oh, and we can ask, what's her face? Jayla? Jayla? Jathal. If she wants to come.
She absolutely does. She's in survival mode right now, and she was planning to follow you whether you let her or not. So she's definitely got her knife out. And again, she's definitely some type of caster, and I don't think any of you got a handle yet on what her full abilities were. But yeah, she's following. So you're gonna blast this door open, I assume. The one there, or the one Rekla's at. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Or okay. How are you guys gonna be positioned when you go through?
Yeah, I think we'll let the big guy go through first.
All right, yeah, I'm just curious. All right, so put yourself where you're gonna be when he's kicking the door there, and I'll remove the door.
Ah.
There you go. That's fine. That's fine. I can probably get rid of these bodies. Were you guys going to also loot the other dead bodies in there? If you were, there would have been 2 hand crossbows, and you would have found 10 silver as well. So those, might as well say that.
Okay.
Nice, add it to the party loot.
Yep. All right, so this door swings open, and it's a large room that has a floor with polished white tiles on it, and hanging from the walls are various trophy heads. For example, there's a stag with a really impressive set of twisted antlers. There's a large tusked boar. There's this cranky-looking large owl, a snarling wolf, and a couple of different reptiles. So it just looks as if it was a trophy room. Basically, I would think, and I'm going to use your prior perception checks here, that those of you who come in and look at this, you would have heard of some of these beasts. You would have heard that these are also some common beasts that you may see in the Stolen Lands. so that you suspect that some of these trophies came from the stolen lands. But other than that, you don't see anyone else. However, through this double door to the west is where you're hearing now more distinctly the sound of metal on metal and probably some type of conflict is what it starts to really become clearer now that you're closer to it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna. Is there a door over here too? By the way.
There's a door on the southern wall. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess I'll pose it to the group. Do we continue going toward the fighting, or do we open that door and see if there's something else to go toward?
Rekla will speak up. I'm betting that's the door that leads to the armory where I was earlier.
Okay.
And points to
Through
the
the double
south.
doors.
And you didn't really have a chance to search the armory, so if that's something that you guys can consider, right? But it was an armory. It just looked like it had been turned over a little bit.
The lady of the house really is cornered. I think it'd be best for us to make our way to her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whoever's fighting.
All right, so
All right.
I'll let you guys. This one will matter a little more with your position, so just get yourselves where you want to be. I'm gonna move Jathal over as well, so she'll join the formation. And Dalit is opening the door.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll make it out when I do that.
All right. Okay. Yeah, everyone else, I'm assuming you've got a weapon out. Just the left door or both doors? And they do open inward towards the room that you're going into.
I will go for the dramatic flourish and kick the doors open. Both of them. I'll aim right for the middle.
Man, I love it. Let's call it an athletics check and see how well you do that, because
Really hope I do this well. Ah, okay.
Nice.
oh man. Okay, so let me blast these two doors come
Let's go.
flying open.
Whoa.
All right. Yeah, so Dalit just is able to kick these things in the perfect spot and blast them open. And what you guys would see now would be a really large chamber with a recessed area in the center of the floor. Let's see, if most of you could probably see that along the walls on the outside edges of the room there are more what look like weapon racks and armor racks spread around the room. And so you get the sense that this was probably some type of dueling chamber or fighting pit by the looks of it. But what's more pressing is that you hear now in this far corner the sound of metal clanking against metal and stone. And as you look up in that corner, those of you who can see that spot, you would see Lady Jamandi. Looks like she is fighting two large creatures who she's got a pair of them that have her cornered. And she seems to be holding her ground for the moment. And as you open the door, she spots you across the room and she says, "You're just in time." And so with that, we'll have you guys roll initiative, and we'll do probably a round or two before we pause for next session. So just click your avatar or your token and then hit initiative. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Hang on. I gotta clear this. All right, sorry. Do that again for me, please. Unless you really want that 11, I'll let you take the new one. But
Okay. I'm not gonna fight you on that.
All right, so I'm gonna put these guys in our turn order as well. You see who all would see this. I'm just double checking. I think probably more. Maybe everyone but Bryn and Jathal could see that there's also a group of people on this southwestern corner of the room as well. And you would recognize that a couple of them are the Black Tears. So right now you see basically 5 targets and Lady Jamandi in here. So essentially, all right, let me sort the order. and start out. So Furbus is up first.
Right here.
I think. Yep.
Okay.
This guy.
So real quick, this area here that you're standing in would be like it drops down a couple of feet. So if you go into that, you'd have to make a check to jump down into that because it has a drop off. Otherwise, you could stop short. Or yeah, there you go. That's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna go like that.
Okay. And I'm gonna cast some ice magic. This black there.
All right.
So let me see.
Nope.
Ah,
Oh,
yeah. Unfortunately, that misses your mark, and that was 2 actions there. So you're done on this turn. Dalit is up.
alright. Gonna use my sudden charge feat again to go toward this frost.
Mm.
Do that first attack.
All right, let's see. Let me double check. What's their AC? Oh man, you're right on it. It's 17.
Yes.
All right, so
Cool.
5 damage. Okay.
And then I will do man, I want I'll double check this, but I'm gonna try doing a snagging strike. I don't think there's a limitation on size.
Yeah. Interesting.
I'll check snagging, striking, and the grab action to see if there's a restriction, but it doesn't really matter anyway.
Okay. Yeah, it might be good to know though for later on.
Yeah,
But
that's what I was thinking.
yeah. But okay. Yeah, so you're right next to this thing and you did smack it once. Nice. All right, that would be then Dalit's turn and then Bryn's up.
Right, Bryn is going to take a look at what's happening in here. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a whole smorgasbord of choices here. You've got these 3 targets that appear to be black tiers, and then the 2 giants are engaged in battle with Lady Jamandi.
see, good to see. I am going to. Wonderful. I move to here.
Okay.
And then I cast. Ooh,
Okay. So get a.
electric arc. So to hit both of these guys.
All right. Let's see if they are able to dodge. They are not able to dodge you. So they take 8 damage each. Okay. All right. Nice. Yeah, so I guess electric arc it would hit the first target and then go into the second target, right? It's not like a fork. Is that the way it works? Does anyone know?
Yeah, so basically it goes. And then from there it goes over here and then.
Okay, like a chain. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I
Okay.
was thinking just chain lightning, but just very limited.
Yeah, connecting
Once
dots
once again, my artistic talents are
on display.
a sight to behold.
We're gonna put those in the gallery when we're done, next to the other artwork back there. But no, good. So I think that's 3, right? Because that's 2 action. Okay. So Bryn is dealt some damage to both of these giant beasts, and then it would be Reckless' turn.
Okay. Rekla still needs to get a clearer picture of what's happening in there, so he's gonna start his way in. And I think what he's gonna end up trying to do, let's see, how far can he get on a single move?
Yeah, just bear in mind you're gonna have to navigate around the pit.
Okay, so he can get to right here on 1 action.
Before you act, or actually, I'm sorry, no, it'll be next. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Much I can do from this distance. Will I be able to move past?
Yeah, you can move through any of your
Yeah.
allies.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Then I'll move past Furbus. right there. And with the last action, cast shield.
Okay. The star shield is up.
Yes.
Nice. All right. Lady Jamandi is up next. And so this is where you guys may have remembered earlier when she was in the Great Hall at the feast. She had her Aldori sword on her, dueling sword on her, and the blade has a flame on it. And that would have been something that you would have seen and remembered. And now you're seeing this flame almost flashing through the air like a lightsaber in front of you as she looks very much in control of the situation. And as she's making a flurry of attacks on this one here, she turns and slashes at it and hits it extremely hard and actually chops part of his arm off. Similar to what you saw happen, the wound you saw happen to the other one, actually, but this wound cauterizes almost on impact. There's no blood shed from it. It's like it just slices right through, and it shrieks out and wails out. It looks in bad condition compared relative to the other one right now. And she turns and looks in your directions, and she says, "Take them out. I've got this under control." And she continues to engage with them, and they start trying to thump back at her, and they do take a couple of swings at her. She doesn't seem to, they seem to almost be bouncing off of her. The attacks seem to be almost bouncing off of her, and you're not sure what else she's doing to keep control of these and to keep them away from her, but seems like she's very comfortable being in a duel, obviously. And especially for Dalit, this is almost like textbook. Like when you're watching her, she's just knows these giants' movements before they even move. It seems that would bring up your turns. The giant does not seem to turn in your direction or do anything to you, Dalit. Outside of that, they don't seem to take notice of you. However, this group on the southern wall has, and these folks are actually jumping into the turn here. So you've got what appear to be two of the cutthroats. Did I just delete Furbus? No, okay.
No, Furbus is right here.
Okay.
I know this because I keep looking at him being like, man, you really got to get out of the way.
Yeah. All right, so the first thug here is going to move forward 2, 3, 4, and he is going to attempt to attack our gnome friend. Let's see. What's your AC, Rekla?
It's 14 currently.
14, okay. Misses with his first attack with the dagger. He's gonna take a second attack with the dagger. He hits you on that one, unfortunately. So 5 damage from slashing, actually, or excuse me, piercing from his dagger strike.
Okay, that goes into the shield spell.
Okay, all right.
It absorbs all 5 of that, and the shield spell is gone.
Nice. Yeah, so he shattered the star field, but did nothing to you. That's cool. The other one is also stepping forward. 1, 2, 3. Let's see, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, and he will take a shot at Dalit there from the corner with his dagger. Actually, yeah, his dagger as well. Let's see, what's Dalit's AC?
17.
17. And that's a critical miss. But yeah, he whiffs horribly to the point that he does not take a second attack, has second thoughts about it. He will be right there. And the last one to act now, this is again, it looks like a black tier, but this is the first woman that you've seen black tier, and she definitely stands out as well. Let me describe her. So she is wielding a great axe, and that would be the big difference between her and the other black tiers that you've seen, that she has a great axe. So she has that, and she's wearing chainmail as well. So those two things immediately would stand out, but she certainly has the markings. They make it really easy. You know, they didn't
Yeah.
watch Home Alone. They should have learned not to leave a calling card. But they all have black tears on, and so she stands out. And anyway, she is gonna come forward with her thing here, and she is gonna, let's see, jump down into the pit and step over this way. Oops. And then with her last action, she's going to attack. AC 14. She's swinging overhead with this great axe.
Oh my god.
It lands a mighty strike against our gnome friend here.
Guess who's taking a dirt nap again?
Oh my
No.
god! I hate to do that to you and leave you here at a cliffhanger, but I think that's what we'll do exactly because it's
Oh.
time, and I think this would be a good point to pick up on. I'll mark you for the moment as being in red. Oops, that's the wrong one. And we'll pick up here next session right after she put her great axe into your gnome and once again put him down on the ground, and we'll pick up from that point in the next session if you guys are good with that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Ah,
Yeah. Yeah. You got yourself in a little
Pickle.
trouble
little
here.
pickle.
Yeah. But the other thing is I'll make sure I add Jathal into the turn order and that she's brought in to the room because she did not act on that first turn. So I'm bringing her in here as well. So she's going to be right there behind Furbus. But otherwise we'll pause it right at that point and the first to act will be Furbus when we start up.
Okay.
Don't worry, I have a spell strike with shocking grasp that has this bitch's name on it.
Nice.
She jumped into the gladiator pit. I'm jumping into the gladiator pit.
Yeah, that's what I thought for a second about just having her go into the center of the gladiator pit and just challenge whoever wanted to come out. I could strongly considered that, but then I figured she would probably be a lot more vicious than that. So unfortunately, our gnome fell victim again. But we gotta get somebody flanking that gnome at all times. I think we're gonna have to maybe get a shadow for the gnome for a little while until he stops taking these hits. But no, it was a fun session. It was really fun. I hope everybody had a good time. It was great to be able to add you, Ozzy. Welcome to the group. I think it's been a great fit. So
I had fun, and I'm enjoying how this was working so far.
Excellent.
cool. That's great to hear. I will let you guys go and we'll reconvene in 2 weeks. If you got any questions or anything, just hit me up on Discord. But thanks so much.
Excellent.
All
Thanks.
right. All right. Take care.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night.